Welcome back everyone, Mariah Monetize here, and in today's video we're going to be going over the price of Bitcoin. But we're not going to be just going over the price of Bitcoin. We're also going to be reflecting on traditional markets. We're going to be looking at the last market cycle, specifically when it comes to the S&P 500, and seeing the periods of time that it took, basically from a time period as well as a percentage period, and using that information to kind of predict where we can find the bottom in this particular market cycle. I think that things are going to get uglier across all markets. I believe all the signs are there. I believe things are going to get uglier when it comes to crypto, traditional markets, housing, pretty much across the board. Things I believe are going to continue to drop significantly. So first, let's go ahead and look at the price of Bitcoin and see what it's up to today. Bitcoin currently sitting at $18,655. Bitcoin is looking extremely weak and not too good. It's getting really close to making a lower low on the 7-day chart. So the low that we saw was 17,567, and the low of this candle for this week here is 18,153. So, within about $500, $600 or so of that particular range. So we could potentially see 3 more weeks of downside, though I believe that the bottom is, like, after looking at what I've seen today, I think it's more likely that we're actually going to see the bottom come in Q1 of next year, or potentially even later. I think that this bear market might get dragged out longer than expected. And there's a few reasons for that. One is because we have seen correlation across the board when it comes to SPY as well as crypto. But before, like I said, I get into more details there, let's go ahead and keep looking at Bitcoin in different time frames. So Bitcoin has made a lower low on the daily chart, not looking too good. I think we might see a little bit of a bounce here, but I believe that we are going to make a lower low as well. 12-hour chart looking terrible. No signs of a momentum shift at all. This is just catching a falling knife at this point. And I think that any bounces that we see are just going to be dead cat bounces. Nothing really great to see here on the 4-hour chart. No signs of a momentum shift. 1-hour chart also looking terrible as well. Let's see if there's any hope on the lower level time frames. The 30-minute time frame is giving us a whole lot of nothing. There's no really nice way to say this other than Bitcoin looks like dog shit. Okay, so 5-minute chart also not even giving us any short time or short periods or lower level time frames of an upwards trend. So let's go ahead, and what I wanted to show you guys, so I would not touch Bitcoin here, absolutely not. There is nothing, no positive signs at this particular moment. But what I wanted to consider is the fact that I think that we are in mini bear markets. I think most markets are in a bear market and that it's going to continue for an extended period of time. So let's go ahead and head over to S&P 500. Let's zoom out to the weekly chart, okay, and let's reflect. Let's reflect back on 2008 and that particular crash. And I was looking at this just a few moments ago, and I found some interesting information that I think you guys will also find interesting, and just reflecting back on time frames and what exactly went down. Okay, so we saw the top of the S&P come in about mid-October of 07. Everyone says the crash of 18. Well, the peak happened late of 2007, okay, and then into 2008 is when things started getting really, really ugly. So the pullback was 58% with S&P 500, and the bottom came in March of 2009. So it was approximately 16 months of where the buying opportunity came in. Okay, but after that, when did SPY make a new all-time high? That didn't happen until approximately mid-April of 2013. So we can, in a sense, use these time frames as an understanding. What's interesting about this particular pullback, this 58% pullback, and about the 16th month period of time, is that 16 months is somewhere in the same range, in my opinion, as when it comes to the approximate 1 year period of time after a top is hit, typically in Bitcoin, where the buying opportunity comes after that. So The previous market cycle, what I'll go ahead and just show you guys. The top came in December of 17, and approximately 1 year later was when that massive buying opportunity came in. And I wanted to point out SPY because there's just a ton of correlation, and I think it's important that we take that into consideration with Bitcoin. I'm looking forward to the day that Bitcoin is its own asset and it does its own thing. I thought we were closer, but because of 70% of trading is institutional, it's like I'm just not nearly as hopeful. So as you could see here, when Bitcoin hit $20,000, December 17th, that week of 17, you can see the buying opportunity came down here, December. So, I mean, there was a lot of great buying opportunities, but this low right here of, let's see, 31.28 was the week of December 10th. So ultimately, about 1 year later, okay. And then the all-time high, so that came in of 18, and then new all-time high came in over here in 20. So about, let's see here, so that was December of 18, and then over here we have 20. So approximately 2 years is when the new all-time high was made. So you can see that the massive buying opportunity comes in 1 year to 16 months after the all-time high is made. So we're kind of seeing similar time frames, and that's just something that I think is really important to take into consideration. So we are seeing very negative numbers across the board. I don't really follow XRP, but I did see that it was up significantly. Nexo token sitting at 95 cents. Let's see here. We have ADA, excuse me. We have, let's see. Yeah, is that ADA? What is this? What is this chart right here? Well, that's the total market cap. We have Ethereum sitting at 1291, gold sitting at 1641, BNB sitting at 270. Coinbase dropped quite a bit from yesterday, sitting at 6116. I think it's also sometimes important. I mean, I mostly have been just looking at the Bitcoin chart, and the chart that I look at the second most is probably S&P, just because I'm like always trying to see where the correlation's at. But I think it's important to take a look at Ethereum, because in some cases, Ethereum does lead the way. So let's see what Ethereum is giving us when it comes to the weekly chart here. Weekly chart almost crossed over. You can see that did not happen. Ethereum doesn't look as close from a percentage perspective to its the low that came in June. Okay, but yeah, so that June, is this a 7-day chart? Yeah, it's a 7-day chart. So as you could see here, Bitcoin is flirting a little bit closer to its all-time low than Ethereum. Let's go and look here at the daily chart. Daily chart on Ethereum looking poor, really bad. 12-hour chart looking terrible. 4-hour chart making lower lows. I mean, these charts just look unbelievably weak. So maybe we'll find some signs on a shorter level time frame, shorter term time frames on Ethereum to give us better information to predict where Bitcoin's going. But both charts look absolutely terrible right now. So, marijuana stocks, also terrible. Tilroy sitting at $2.69. I mean, just a ton of weakness across the board on this Friday. The weekends are always interesting because Bitcoin kind of, in a sense, has the freedom to kind of do what it does without having as much influence from institutional investing. So that's kind of exciting there. You know, it's not like constantly correlating as soon as 9:30 opens up or a 10 a.m. reversal and things like that. So I'm not touching Bitcoin. I'm staying super patient. I mean, when you really think of, you know, what is the goal? The goal is to, you know, sell as close to the top as possible and buy as close to the bottom as possible. And do that in as few trades as possible, right? So you're not just spending your whole life staring at a computer screen. And ultimately, it comes down to just a ton of patience, right? So for example, on Ethereum, you know, if you sold up here, you are just staying extremely patient as a year comes rolling around for you to get back in. You know, you could have sold at 5,000 and bought back at 2,500, which is obviously a great trade, but more opportunity came with patience. Like, you know, if you waited till now, nearly a year later. So that's what's kind of going on there. I saw an interesting tweet that kind of just put things into perspective when it comes to interest rates. Obviously, we recently saw the 75 Bitcoin basis points increase. So this is crazy. If you secured a 30-year fixed mortgage on a $600,000 home at a 2.6% interest rate in 21, you have the same monthly mortgage payment as someone that just bought a $392,000 house at today's 6.2% interest rate. It's really amazing how just a few differences in interest rate percentages can make such a dramatic effect on a monthly payment. So super interesting. Also some news here, Coinbase sued for $350 million over patent infringement claims. So that's all that I pretty much have for you today. I'm just, continuously checking in on the price after traveling for a month and a half, when I was looking at the price like once a day. I'm definitely keeping a closer eye because every day we're just getting closer and closer to that buying opportunity. And I want to make sure that I am as ready as possible. I have my buy order set, and I hope you do too. So that is all that I have for you today. As always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love.